House of the Dragon has given us some deeper background into the connection between dragon and dragonrider, most notably exploring the concept that the Targaryens do not always have full control over their fire-breathing mounts. It has long been clear that there is some sort of telepathic connection between the Targaryens and their bonded dragons, and it now appears that some riders may have a stronger telepathic connection, likely built with time and experience, resulting in greater control over their dragons. We have this from Septon Barth, who states that it may well be that dragons somehow sense and echo the moods of their riders, for Dreamfire came down out of the clouds like a raging storm that day. Vermithor and Silverwing rose up and roared at her coming, such wise that all of us who saw and heard were fearful that the dragons were about to fly at one another with flame and claw, and tear each other apart as Balerion once did to Quicksilver by the god's eye. Something I found very interesting in episode 10 of House of the Dragon, that the actions of both Vhagar and Eryx above Storm's End seem to point towards the telepathic dragon bond as being highly emotional in nature. Luke's anxiety and dread build during his confrontation with Boros Baratheon and his uncle Aemon Targaryen. When he runs out into the storm, Eryx, his dragon, appears highly distressed as well. Luke's own fear seems to fuel his dragon's panic to the point where, like a cornered and outmatched animal in the face of a large predator, Eryx lashes out in desperation, attacking Vhagar with fire, even as Luke shouts, "No, Eryx." Likewise, Aemon's vengeful hostility fuels Vhagar's attack on the smaller dragon, but his intentions to only scare and not actually kill his nephew are not translated to the beast Vhagar, only the emotions behind them. We also see Syrax screeching and roaring as Rhaenyra screams out in pain, anger, grief, and betrayal during her stillbirth. This has all got me thinking about one of the most tragic fates of any of the Targaryens, that of little Princess Arya, who dared climb upon the back of Balerion the Black Dread, and died for it. Arya Targaryen knew true happiness in King's Landing, where she was surrounded by beloved friends and animals, and thrilled by the liveliness of the court, before she was taken by her mother to Dragonstone, where she has no companions her own age, and it was forbidden from interacting with the small folks. She becomes deeply lonely. Her demeanor changes drastically from an energetic, brave, and highly social child to a sullen and angry preteen. She repeatedly lashes out at the Septas, servants, and her mother, and begs first the Lady Alyssa Farman and then Queen Alysanne to take her with them away from Dragonstone. But her mother, Rhaena, angrily rejects the notion of Arya returning to King's Landing with the Queen, leading Arya to claim Balerion and then disappears. The first place her mother thinks to look for her is King's Landing, the place she longed to return to from the moment she arrived on Dragonstone. But when the princess and Balerion finally return to King's Landing over a year later, Arya immediately collapses and dies the most Lovecraftian death in the series, cooked from the inside by enormous chimera-like fire parasites. This leads Septon Barth to conclude, the princess might well have intended to fly to King's Landing, just as her mother suspected. It might have been her thought to seek out her twin sister in Old Town, or to go seeking after Lady Alyssa Farman, who had once promised to take her adventuring. Whatever her plans, they did not matter. It is one thing to leap upon a dragon, and quite another to bend him to your will, particularly a beast as old and fierce as the Black Dread. From the very start we have asked, where did Arya take Balerion? Or maybe we should have been asking, where did Balerion take Arya? He is mayhaps the only living creature in the world that knew Valyria before the Doom. And that is where he took the poor doomed child clinging to his back. If she went willingly, I would be most surprised, but she had neither the knowledge nor force of will to turn him. I believe that poor little Arya had one thought in her head when she mounted Balerion: I want to go home. It was an angry, hurt, desperate need for belonging that boiled over and drove her to claim the Black Dread. Tragically, her lack of experience and knowledge, the emotional nature of the telepathic dragon bond, combined with her extremely emotionally charged longing for home. This fraught desire to return to an almost theoretical childhood paradise that she can't get back to, sent Balerion to a home that was long ago lost to him as well. and sealed her fate. After the death of Arya, King Jaehaerys founded the Dragon Keepers. For more about Dragon Keepers, link is in the description below. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Valor Morgulis.